What up? Hello, my name is Alex Ernest, and today I learned that you can't let the media control your narrative of what happens. And so I've been thinking about this a lot in regards to the protests. Thankfully, we have a bunch of really wonderful live streamers in Louisville here: Maxwell Mitchell, Jason Downey, Wyatt Hart, Melkim STV, who's in Seattle right now but was in Louisville for most of the time, have all been super valuable in terms of being able to provide live information from people that have been down at the protests of what's going on, and not what the media has been told about bleach being and leaf blowers and different things like this. And I remember I've been thinking about it since the other day whenever there was the counter protest with like the cops supporting protest in Indiana, and I saw a little clip of different people talking down there, and they were talking about how it's just lawlessness over here and the streets are burning and just all this damage and destruction that's happening, and how that's being fed to them by a media source that's giving them a sort of bias to make them think that something is happening that's not happening, because I live in downtown Louisville and it's not on fire. So, but I was thinking about this, and I've also been thinking about it in regards to a really wonderful book, 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And in this book, there's a section, it's written with a sort of magical style, but there's a section where he talks about this tragedy that happens to this fictional village in Macondo, where there's like a banana plantation and the workers try to set up a union to say that they deserve to be paid enough to eat and stuff like that, some like real basics. And the government ends up sending in a group of troops to these people as they're trying to form this union, and they end up massacring them, killing over 3,000 of them, including like men, women, children, just everyone who's present. The machine guns just mowing them down. And one of the characters wakes up on this train after being down there at the event and getting shot in the leg, I think it was. But he gets shot and he like passes out, and he wakes up and he's on this train that has all of the lights off, and it's just piled up with the dead bodies, and they're taking it out into the lake so they can dump them into the ocean. Thankfully it's not that bad here where they're covering that up. But in the story, he ends up going back home, and he's trying to talk to people about all the people that died, and they're like, what are you talking about? Even though like those characters know someone that died. And what happened was that the government in the story just tells everyone that like everyone was happy and just went back home. Everyone just went back home. No one died. Everyone just went back home. And they told people that so much that they ended up believing that. Now there's a bit of a magical element to that, but it gets the feeling, like the shock across really well, like the genuine shock. And it's actually based on a real life thing where Gabriel Garcia Marquez was actually, as a young boy, I think he was 8 years old, and he lived in a small village where there was a banana plantation and there was a massacre that was done on the workers as they tried to pull together for a union, and he witnessed that as a young child. And then growing up, he saw that wiped from the history books where they just don't talk about it, and he would ask teachers about it and they would say that it doesn't exist, and he would try to write stories about it, and the news said that they wouldn't publish it because it didn't happen. And sort of this incredulity where he's trying to talk about this truth of this like awful event that he saw, and no one believed him because the official story was that nothing happened. And so the connection between that and how that's been going on, legitimately been going on for 100 years now, or longer, much longer, but how that's been going on forever, and then what's happening now. Then the beauty of now that we have these live streamers and people that are capable of live streaming down there, for the first time we can have that kind of footage and see what really happens down there by people who are actually down there, and how incredibly valuable that is, and how grateful you should be that we're at this moment of history that's allowing this to happen, and that hopefully through that the truth will continue to come out and people will let go of their media controlled narrative. Now, maybe that's a little optimistic, but I think you are seeing it to some extent. There's still some people that are holding on really tightly to what they're being told, but there's more and more people that are just looking, they're seeing it, and people are compiling the footage into little clips that are more accessible, and you're starting to get a sense of people are starting to open their eyes to the extent to which the media is lying to them. And so whether it's knowledge that you picked up from an old classic book, or whether it's a lesson that you're learning today, hearing people and what they think is happening over here and what's actually happening over here, it's important that you not let the media control your narrative of what's going on. Find the live streams, find the people who are there, talk to them about it, form the best opinion that you can, be willing to change your opinion as new information is exposed to you. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for everyone that comments, likes, shares, who says nice things to me in DMs or any of that, people who are showing this to your friends. I love you. I appreciate it. It means the world to me. It really does. So thank you all. I hope you have a great day. I love you. Goodbye.